Hello, welcome back. This is Kenshin1913, and we are Let's Playing Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Father, 20th Anniversary Edition. In the last episode, we started the game. We saw some things that are a little different. Right now, everything's pretty much going where we needed to go. And now we are going to head over to the, we're going to head over to Greater New Orleans and head over to... See, now we can head to the French Quarter or the crime scene, which is at Lake Pontchartrain. Let's head over there.
Hey, Mostly.
Huh? Knight, you wiener, I told you not to call me that.
Feeling jumpy?
Who, me? Don't be stupid. How'd you find me?
Oh, I was just driving by.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess I can let you see it. For the book, but don't tell anyone, huh?
Look at this thing.
Definitely another voodoo murder. Same MO and no freaking clues. We're still waiting on an ID for the body.
Oh, that's disgusting. Isn't this a rather public area for this kind of thing?
Yeah, they're freaking ghosts, these guys. Lakeshore Drive isn't exactly the 10 expressway, but it is open to the public. No reports of nothing. Now, who the hell is that? Good day, Miss Getty.
What's going on, officer?
Detective Mosley, ma'am. We got a little problem here, but nothing for you to be concerned about.
I see. Thank you, detective. And good day, gentlemen.
I'm in love.
Forget it. That's Molly at Getty. She's about as far out of your reach as the moon. Probably on her way to meet some guy with a yacht right now.
Near here?
The lake's a popular place for country clubs.
If she's out here a lot, maybe she saw something or heard something.
Nah, nobody ever sees or hears nothing. I told you. Besides, you just don't go around bothering people like her.
We've about wrapped it up, sir.
Well, let's get the meat wagon moving then. Stick around and take notes for the book if you want. Watch out for the muck and the water moccasins, though. If you want to talk, I'll be at the station tomorrow.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like how they do the cutscenes, though. Like a comic book. Very cool looking. So let's use our sketchbook on this.
Let me try to copy this down.
Let's take a look at these tracks over here. Don't stand on them, Gabe. Alright, so as you can see, there is some tracks. And here we can look around, I guess. Yeah, I like how they literally show. They did a good job here, man. Here we go. So yeah, let's use the magnifying glass on this thing.
It looks like a scale of some sort. Gabriel carefully uses the tweezers to take the small, iridescent scale.
I think it's a snake scale, but it beats the hell out of me what kind.
Alright, so let's come over here near the bank and take some clay. Because I forgot to do that way before. But yeah, they make it a little easier to see in this game.
I'll take some of this clay with me.
Like, you have to look through the bushes when you did this before. You know what I mean? To look for the snake stuff.
No, I've got no way to take that with me. And I don't want to. Ugh. That's a lot of blood.
It is. It's a lot of blood. So we pretty much got everything.
Lake Pontchartrain is impressive. It measures 24 miles across and stretches as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, it's a cool little place. Let's exit to the map. And back to the French Quarter. And the St. George's bookstore.
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
The excitement of seeing you is killing me.
Alright, so let's talk to Gracie.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Yeah, what do you know about
Do
snakes?
you know anything about snakes?
Doing a family tree, Gabriel?
Very funny. I mean real snakes, you know, scaly, cold-blooded. I would have thought you'd find them empathetic.
Mm-hmm. I know very little about reptiles of any kind, and prefer to keep it that way. I think there's a book on snakes around here somewhere, though.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I already looked at it. Alright, let's ask her to do some research.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
Malia
Could you see
Getty.
what you can find out about a woman named Malia Getty?
The name Getty sounds familiar. What's your interest in her?
Oh, just, you know, stuff about the Voodoo murders. If you can get an address...
Mm-hmm. The murders, right. I'll see what I can find out. Well, it's about closing time.
So it is. Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gabriel. And try not to dream, okay?
Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can stay here. Bye-bye, Gracie. See you tomorrow. Pretty quiet for New Orleans. Back in '93. Another night, another terrible nightmare. Welcome to day 2. A mask I wore as I approached. I was not what I am not. I was what I am not. And though the pattern was unclear, its meaning could be bought. So in this day, we're going to try and learn more about voodoo. Look at poor Gabriel. He can barely...
Good morning. Don't you look swell today? Actually, swollen. So have some. There's a fresh pot on the table. Seriously, you look like hell. Your hair is sticking straight up like a... Oh, it always does that. Never mind.
Ha ha.
Did you dream about the fire and the hanged guy and that lion thing last night?
Leopard, not lion. Did you get anything on Malia Getty?
Well, I did get her address, but you're a little out of your league here, big fella. The Gettys own 3 local hospitals, just to name a few of their assets. They run in very high circles.
Did you get an address?
I got the address. I suppose this has nothing to do with the fact that Malia Getty is incredibly gorgeous. I should have known you wouldn't go for a rich, ugly socialite.
And that address is?
Hey, far be it from me to postpone your total humiliation. It's 557 West Ingram. That's the Garden District. Estate City.
That's all I wanted to know. And yes, my dear, Malia Getty is the most dangerous-looking diversion I have ever seen. Ouch.
Ugh, men.
Alright, so we learned about Malia Getty. Now it's time to read the newspaper. As we do every morning.
Times dated June 19th, 1993. A front page article describes the most recent of the Voodoo murders. Gabriel scans it but learns nothing new. The article reiterates that the voodoo aspect of the crime is faked. Gabriel shivers. It looked real enough to him. Elsewhere, there's an article about the history of Jackson Square, called the Plaza d'Armes under French rule. It was used for executions, firing squads, hangings, even impalements and breaking on the wheel. Yikes! Of course, these days, it's mostly a hangout for tourists, street musicians, and local artists. Gabriel also scans the Aquarius horoscope for the day. Chances of a dark star rising on this day. Do not trust your instincts.
I feel a dark star rising, all right.
Yeah, New York Times Tribune, or New Orleans Times Tribune. Alright. So let's talk to Grace.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
I guess there's nothing here. Alright, let's leave. Now, if you checked at the Voodoo Museum in the first day, you'll notice it'll actually be closed. So today we're gonna head to the historical
I'll be back later.
Museum of
Have fun.
Voodoo. Yeah, if we tried to go there the other day, it would be closed.
Welcome, my friend. Hello. I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I would be happy to assist.
Great. My name is Knight, and I'll probably take you up on that.
Alright, so first thing we gotta do, and we see there's a drummer
A
outside.
street drummer has settled outside the museum.
Alright, let's hit this switch here. Let's see what that does.
What does this do?
Turn that thing off.
Oh, sorry.
We have air conditioning, you see.
Yeah, I see.
But that made the snake go all kinds of crazy. Alright, so there's a shrine to the left of the door over here. Let's take a look at it. Now, this is not in the first
The
game.
Voodoo shrine is filled with items that both fascinate Gabriel and also make his skin crawl.
Yeah, you got like a head and an arm thing here. But yeah, over here is this is new. We gotta take this flyer.
A flyer advertising Magenta Moonbeam, a local voodooienne. Her parlor is on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine.
See, now I believe that Dr. John mentions her to you, but
This coffin is so small.
I don't know if I think he might request her there, but I'm not sure. But yeah, let's look at the snake, huh?
A very large, very formidable looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage. An official voodoo wishing stump. Rub it and make a wish, a card says.
Funny. I say the same thing to women.
But yeah, you got all kinds of skulls and masks. Let's talk to Dr. John. The music here is pretty nice.
Could I ask you a few questions?
That is why I am here.
So let's talk to him about voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo, or the voodoo currently practiced in the city.
I guess, well, we'll talk to him about everything.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper. I know they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
What makes you think the voodoo murders aren't being done by local practitioners?
Voodoo is a popular boogeyman, Mr. Knight, especially in New Orleans. Anyone can pretend to use it, just as anyone can pretend to be a black belt in karate. And for the same reason, to intimidate. I know voodoo in this city, Mr. Knight, and believe me, it is not about killing. Even the police have stated that the killings have nothing to do with local voodoo.
Sounds like maybe.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States, as far as I am concerned.
Alright, what about snakes?
Do you know anything about snakes?
Ah. You have perhaps noticed the museum snake, Mr. Knight?
Oh yeah.
They are beautiful creatures. Do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Tell me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
Alright, that's kind of cool.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us just say I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No, the museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
Alright.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Ooh, what about...
Just tell me anything.
I think you
I
mentioned...
am a vegetarian.
Yeah, you're...
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, he's a...
Just tell me anything.
A vegetarian,
I
a
am
large
not an
vegetarian.
easy person to get to know. I am a very private man.
Isn't that unusual for someone in the museum business?
Not at all. My displays speak for me.
Alright, so we're done with
Actually, I can't think of a thing.
Then let us discuss something else.
that. Let's talk about historical voodoo.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
As you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion, formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, with the French and Spanish-ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importings of slaves from that region.
Interesting. So, yeah, I don't know if Gabriel actually has a, tape recorder that you can listen back on this.
So, how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
Very interesting. Let's hear more.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight. If only in the form of a communal band. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou St. John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
I thought it was Damballa.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1870, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons, and the place, Congo Square. the slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances, right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
The real thing.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Is that it? Let's hear about current voodoo.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in the religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I personally am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Tell me about Marie Laveau.
Yeah, let's hear all about
There were
Marie.
actually two Marie Laveaus, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Laveau tomb, where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No, but the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
Very interesting. Let's hear about hoodoo.
What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the gree-gree are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
So how's the museum business?
Those who truly seek to understand are few, Mr. Knight. But even one can be an audience.
Sounds about like my shop. So where do you pick up all this stuff?
Oh, here and there. We accept donations of any pertinent items.
So yeah.
Do you ever get any wackos in here?
You mean besides yourself?
Yeah, besides me.
I do not care to make those kinds of judgments, Mr. Knight. All are welcome here.
So yeah, at this point he would have given you a thing talking about Madam Moonbeam, and they'd be like, "Yo, can I use the flyer on him?" He'd be like, "Yeah, I'll send you a
know
thing."
This woman?
Magentia Moonbeam, yes. She is a local voodooian. There are many of them in New Orleans. They often do business selling gree-gree, telling fortunes, providing luck, and occasionally misfortune. I often refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to her.
Yeah, see, so he would recommend her in the actual thing when you're actually talking to her, but in
Goodbye,
this,
Dr. John.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
but in this game or in this version, he doesn't even bother. So let's go see
A
Magenta.
sign
Moon.
on the front door of Magenta's home reads, "Attuning with the Spirit Realm," back on June 22nd.
Yeah, so we can now head to the St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. And we have this guy over here. Let's talk to the Watchman. Who watches the Watchman, you know what I'm saying?
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
Yeah, so this guy's name is,
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Isn't it just awful?
Toussaint
Them finding
Gervais.
those bodies with the voodoo things around them. I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody trying to cover their tracks is all.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Seems like everyone wants to visit New Orleans at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery tours. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them aren't poisonous, of course.
Yeah.
I don't mind snakes myself, but lots of folks are afraid of them.
I don't like them.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis No. 1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, of course. A big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers. You know, people come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound, they don't know what they do.
Yeah, so,
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery.
I think Gran would have you come over
why
here.
The dead are buried in tombs
In day
and not
one.
in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins will float right out of their grave. Ha! Them dead will go floating right down into the Calder. Of course, if it were Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice. It's a historical place. People buried in here from the Civil War. Back further, too. Take a look around. You'll see.
Yeah, let's ask him about.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Sure. She was the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. A powerful voodooian and a powerful sorceress. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leave offerings. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from that Voodoo Museum, he's here at least once a day. But Marie Laveau's tomb isn't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
Yeah, what are the marked tombs?
You said there were other mock tombs?
Yep. I've seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, fleets of peas and congreve, animal parts, human parts even, look like. Male parts, if you get my meaning. And this is one of the great family crypts, mind you.
Jeez.
Odd, have them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
Damn, that stinks.
Tell me about yourself.
That's about all there is to say.
Alright.
You been working here a long time?
Longer than you've been alive, son. I may help be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
Alright, well, thank you. So yeah, let's pick up this brick here. I'm gonna finish my business in the, over here, and then I'm gonna go.
The wall doesn't work that way.
And why? Give me the option.
Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall.
Alright, so what we need to do is use our sketchbook on this.
I want a copy of these strange marks.
Yeah, so now we have these markings just in case we need it for something.
Food, trinkets, and more unsettling things have been left at Marie Laveau's tomb as offerings from believers.
Alright, so let's exit over here. And yeah, this is the Getty tomb.
The imposing tomb is elaborately labeled Getty. An angel draped dramatically over a stone plinth marks the entrance to a large tomb.
Yeah, look at this switch here.
There's a small marble plate near the tomb doors. The doors are heavy and shut tight.
Alright.
Another ancient... Most of the
I don't need to go visit the family tomb today.
Yeah, so you can go... Yeah, we can go to Gabriel's tomb over here, but we're not gonna bother. So let's show him the code and see if he knows anything.
Does this mean anything to you?
Sure, I see them marks all the time on the tombs. Don't know what they mean, though.
Alright, so that's pretty much it for this episode. In the next episode, we will, we'll do a different thing, I guess. Gabriel Knight, soon be. We'll go and explore the Dixieland drugstore. So I've been Kenshin 1913. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.